Good morning, children. Today we are going to see a new lesson, and the name of the lesson is The Magic of Silk. The Magic of Silk. This story belongs to China. This is a story from China. So, shall we go ahead? Now open your textbooks and look into the text. I'll be reading it for you. A long, long ago, there lived an old woman in a hut in the forest. Her husband has been killed by a tiger some years ago. She was old and weak. Life was difficult for her and her daughter Sume. So this was a story from China, as we have read it before. A long time ago, there lived an old woman in a hut, and that too she lived in a forest. Okay, and her husband, actually he was killed by a tiger some years ago. Okay, and now this woman was old and also very weak. So because she was old and weak, life will be definitely difficult for her, not only for her and also for her daughter Sume. So she had a daughter, and her daughter name is Sume. So both of them were living in a hut in a forest, and life was very, very difficult for them. It's not that easy. And moreover, the mother was old and also she was weak. Because mother was old and weak, Sume did all the cooking and cleaning herself. So she did not give any kind of trouble to her mother. She did the cooking, she cooked the food, okay, and then she cleaned the whole house herself. And she also looked the silkworms, because they were rearing some silkworms in their garden so that they can make some silk out of that. So the silkworms gave them some fine silk, okay, and it was very, very beautiful silk. And Sume took the silk and she went to the travelers, okay, in the village. She used to go to the village market, and there she used to find some travelers and used to sell this beautiful silk to them. And that is how she used to get some enough money so that they can survive. So that is how they used to get some money so that they can buy some food and the other things. And she used to buy all the things and she used to come home. So it was their daily routine. So how they used to survive? They used to survive by selling the silk to the travelers. Where did they get the silk from? They have some silkworms in their garden, and they used to produce the silk, and she used to take that silk and she used to sell in the village market. That is how they survived. Both mother and daughter survived in this way. One day, Sume was returning home. It started raining heavily. So one day, Sume, she was returning home. She was coming back to home. Maybe she has gone to some village and all, and then she started coming back to home, and it started raining. And moreover, it became very dark, and now she doesn't know what to do. And suddenly she saw a hut over there, and she ran into that hut. The door was open, and there was no one inside. The hut was there, and she went to the hut, and the door was open. Nobody was inside. As the door was open, she directly went inside the house. And when she entered the house, she gave a call. Is anybody in? Is there anybody inside the home? She called loudly again and again. She was calling, is there anybody? Is anybody at home? So she was calling regularly, loudly, but there was no reply. Okay, remember, the house was there, the hut was there, it was open, and she went inside. She called for somebody who's living in the house, but nobody responded. Sume looked around the hut, and when she went into the house, she looked around the hut. The floor was dirty. She saw that the floor was dirty. There were bowls and pots which were completely unwashed. There were bowls, and there were some vessels which were not washed. Somebody ate the food and they did not clean those vessels. They were there and they were kept unwashed. So Sume, what she did is she swept the floor. Because she saw the floor was dirty, she doesn't know whose house is that. she doesn't know whose house is that. She suddenly came inside the house because it was raining heavily, and also it became very dark. So she entered the house, and now she cleaned the complete floor because it was dirty, and also there were some unwashed pots over there. No, she also took those pots and completely cleaned them. By the time she finished cleaning the floor, by the time she finished washing the bowls and vessels, okay, the rain also has stopped, and now the hut was looking like clean, and it was looking like a new hut. It's a new one, okay. And by the time rain had stopped, and now she thought of going back to home. She thought herself that, okay, now it's time for me to go home. Anyhow, the rain is also stopped, and because her mother is alone at the house, and she'll be definitely worried if daughter has not come home, isn't it? So she will be worried. So she thought that it's time for me to go. As she walked out of the hut, she saw a strange old man. So she was walking out of the hut, and suddenly she stopped, and she was shocked to see an old man standing before her. And the old man, he was looking very strange. What is a strange thing about him? He has a long beard reached down his waist. It reached down his waist. It was very, very long beard. That's the first thing. And moreover, he looked that he was more than 100 years of age. So he was more than 100 years old. And the old man looked at Sumay, and he smiled at her. And then she said that, uncle, she said, I went into the house because it was raining. I hope you don't mind, uncle. As I was going to my home, it started raining. So I had no place to stay. So I saw your hut, and I came to your hut, I ran to your hut, and it took some shelter over here. So I hope you will not mind. You'll not mind this. So you'll not feel any bad. So, and he said that, not at all, young girl, not at all, replied the man. And as he was talking to this girl, he was looking at the house. It was very clean, it was tidy, the bowls were washed, the floor was clean. And then he saw the little girl and said that, did you clean the hut for me? Did you clean the hut for me? So why do you clean the hut? And did you do this all for me? And then Sumay said that, yes, uncle, I did it for you because they were looking very dirty and the bowls were unwashed. So I washed them, and also I cleaned the floor. And the old man was very, very happy, okay, at the work which Sumay has done. And he said that, you are really a kind girl. You are really a kind girl. So I think I should give you some kind of present. I should present you something. And then he took a pair of scissors, and then he cut off his long beard, a little bit of long beard, and he put in a piece of old cloth, tied it up, and gave the bundle to her. What he did? He took some of his beard, little bit of beard, he cut with the scissors. Then he took an old cloth, he kept that beard in the cloth, and then he tied it and gave that bundle to the girl. Girl might have been shocked to see what he's giving. He said that he'll be giving some present, but what he's giving? He's giving a bit of his beard. And he gave it to her and said that, do not give it to anyone. He said that, do not give it to anyone. Open it when you get home, when you go to your home. So don't give it to anybody. Directly when you go home, then open it. Until then, just put it in your hand and don't give it to anybody. And Sumay thanked him and went home. Sumay was so obedient girl, so nice girl. If somebody gives you beard, what do you do? You'll throw it, isn't it? Or else, if you don't throw it before the old man, when you come out, you might have thrown it. But the girl was so good, so obedient. She thanked him for what the present he has given. And she took that, and then she went home. And actually, her mother was very glad to see this little girl back home, because she was worried. And because like they stay in the forest, her husband was killed by a tiger a few years ago. So now she was in a stress. She was in a fear. What might happen to Sume? But now she returned safe. And when she came, she narrated the whole story. Because it was raining, she went to the hut and cleaned the bowls and she cleaned the floor. Old man came and he appreciated her and then gave a present of a beard. And Sume, and now he said that don't open it till she goes home. So now she has come to home, so she opened the bundle and she wanted to show mother the old man's beard. To their surprise, it was no more beard. It was no more beard. When she saw it, it was the finest silk thread in the whole of China. It was the finest silk thread in the whole of China. You cannot find that kind of silk anywhere in China. It was the best silk which is available in China. And now they started they began to weave the silk thread. So they started making some bundles with that. And when they had finished, they had made the finest silk they had ever seen. So when they finished making the thread and all, they saw that it was the finest silk thread they have ever seen in the whole of China. And for their surprise, when they looked at the bundle remained same. The bundle remained same. Even though they made a bundle of thread with this, the thread which was given by the strange old man, it remained same. That did not finish, that did not exhaust, that did not complete. So it was the same. So then again they started making some bundles with that. Again it remained same. So the news of this wonderful silk, it has spread like anything far, where everybody came to know that this girl has some very good silk, the finest silk, and everybody started coming and buying silk from them. And the old woman and the daughter became very, very famous because they had the beautiful silk, and they lived happily ever after. So now there were no more difficulties for them. There were no more problems for them. Everybody came to them and they bought the silk. That is how they lived happily ever after. Now, why all these things happen? Because this girl was a very, very good girl. When she went into somebody's home and she saw that it was dirty, when the bowls were not washed, she washed them. She swept the floor. She was very obedient. When he gave him the beard, she thanked him. That's the kind of good manners this girl has. She did not threw the beard somewhere. Whatever they said, she followed it. So she respected the elders, okay, and she gave respect to the words which were spoke by the stranger, the strange old man. That is how, because of her obedience, this was a gift to her. It was a great present. He said that's only a simple present, but that really changed their life. Now, the mother and daughter, they are no more in a difficult situation. They were no more in a sad situation. They were very, very happy, and they lived happily ever after. That is how we come to the end of the story. Now, there are some questions. Who do you think the old man is? Justify your reasons. Whom do you think the old man is? He might be a magician, isn't it? Because he gave the beard and that turned into a silk. Do you believe in miracles? Are magic and miracles same? Give your reasons. If you were Sume, how do you feel? If you were Sume, how do you feel? Whatever good we have give out comes back to us. So if you do any kind of good thing, definitely that will come back to us. So because she did a very good thing by cleaning the home, now she got back the very good present. Okay, so this is how we come to the end of the lesson. Hope you all understood the lesson called as the magic of silk. Okay, so now I want you to read this lesson thoroughly, maybe twice or thrice. Okay, and try to understand the complete lesson. And if there are any sentences which you don't understand, please put in the comment box so that I can reply to them. Okay, so by this we come to the end of this lesson, which is called as the magic of silk. Okay guys, See you all. Take care. Have a nice day. And don't forget to stay home and stay safe. See you all.